Hi friends, it's Deanna Williston from Our Blooming Catholic Life, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the crisis of spiritual direction in the United States, and then we're going to unbox what I'm doing for Lent. It all ties in, so stay tuned. Okay, so friends, spiritual direction right now, it's kind of crazy. You know, I've been saying over and over again, you need to get a spiritual director, but where? I'm even in a major metropolitan area, right? I'm outside it, but I'm in a huge area. And I can't find one. I've been trying for a while. I've even tried some internet things, and I've made some calls, and I can't get I can't get one. It's crazy. And I know right now it is a crisis. A lot of the orders, are pulling back from spiritual direction because there's so few priests. The priests don't have time to do spiritual direction. I mean, they're needed, right? They're needed at parishes, they're needed at shrines, they're needed at retreat centers, they're needed at nursing homes, they're needed at convents. They're needed for the Mass. They're the only ones who can say the Eucharist. They're the only ones who can say confession. And right now they're so desperate for vocations, some orders are pulling them back and not offering spiritual direction. Now, I know there's other orders that are flourishing right now, but there's such a void right now. I think they're trying to fill it. And then you've got all these great priests who are writing books, in their spare time. They're writing books so that they can kind of give spiritual direction to as many people as they can. And God bless them for trying. So here's the thing. What do you do if you're in an area where you can't get spiritual direction or you just can't find one, right? You're reading the books, you're trying. Well, I will tell you, if you're pretty early on, and you're a woman, you are kind of in luck. Women of Grace right now is running a bunch of their studies online. So if you were in some remote town, maybe you don't even have a church, and you're not even really sure about your faith, trying one of their online studies, especially their foundational studies, but they've got other ones as well. They might even be trying a Young Women of Grace online. And I thought I saw one that they're doing off a daily meditation book, little inspirational quotes each day. So they have a variety of them. I saw them. There's several. You can join a group or do them yourself. So if you're really isolated, joining a group online, you could make lifelong friends doing that. Anybody who's done a Woman of Grace program knows the women you went through are your sacred sisters forever. It's just that kind of program. That's what it builds, and it helps you build up your family. So I want to recommend that to you. I don't know, men, what you can do if you're alone in your area. And then here's one of the problems. I know some people who are very excited. They feel like they're called to be a spiritual director. You can be one as a lay person, but you do need to get some training first. And here's the thing. You have to have all the reputable schools, almost all the schools, want you to be in spiritual direction for a year before you become a spiritual director. I don't know where these mysterious ones are that you're going to see for a year before you can get in. Sorry, my dog is trying to play with me. And so where are you going to do this? And then I saw someone say the other day about the spiritual direction schools, because I was looking at them, I have to admit. And some of them are pretty weird. And yes, it's not just me. Someone I trust very much has looked at them and said there's really only one in the US that he knew of that did not have any infiltration by New Age practices. And you can kind of see that if you look at the coursework you're supposed to do and look at the titles of the people in charge, it's going to jump out at you. You're going to be like, what even is that? And so I know there's a couple schools who have fairly new programs, so he might not have reviewed them in that. So there's a chance that that's going to turn around. I do think really our best thing right now is to pray for priests, to pray for vocations, to pray for young people to hear our vocations. But the problem is, without spiritual direction, how are they going to know it's their vocation? Okay, so stopgap measure, absolutely, we need some lay people to be, at least for our generation, we're going to need people to step up and try spiritual direction training. Now, the ones I looked at and the ones from reputable schools look like it's going to take even the ones from kind of hinky schools, look like it takes about 3 years to do. So that's on top of your year of spiritual direction. It's going to be 3 years in training. Now, some of them do them over the course of a normal semester, and some of them do them on intensives where you would go stay somewhere for like 2 weeks every summer, 3 years in a row. And it makes sense because not only do you have coursework to do, right, but you're going to have to learn the counseling, interpersonal skills. Now, I have had my background, my bachelor's was in sociology, and then I had an education degree, master's in education, and then I did a master's in pastoral studies, and we did have to take some human development courses. Back when it was sociology, I took human development courses and some beginning counseling courses there because I was looking at social work as well. And then absolutely the education classes really have you listening, but that's more spiritual direction is more listening and helping the person decide things than telling them what to do, and education's more telling people what to do. But you learn some different listening techniques, and okay, if this strategy doesn't work for you, what about that? So you've learned about more different options and learning styles of people in the Masters of Education program. And then in pastoral studies, of course, I learned more about scripture. I learned more about Aquinas and church fathers. I really studied women. Obviously, I have a certificate in Catholic women's leadership and what the different roles in the church are. And I do think that this is a natural role for women to do spiritual direction for other women. And I think that that would really be a blessing for young women out there to have, spiritual mothers who are trained in spiritual direction that they can turn to, that would be like the next level of things that we could do to contribute to the church. And, I feel like there's some scriptural basis for this because the deaconesses did catechesis and direction for other women. And helped them when they were sick. So I feel like it's part of a role of like the original deaconess role, helping other women in the church, right? And so I think that could be a lovely thing, especially for young ladies who you really don't want to maybe send off to a guy all the time for everything. They may need to talk to a woman sometimes, and I understand that. And if we can start getting spiritual directors trained up, then we can help people find their vocation, and we might start seeing more vocations, both to become, right, for sisters to become nuns and for young men to become priests and deacons and brothers, right? So we need that spiritual direction out there because how else are people, they're like in the wilderness trying to discern. And I'm going to also link that Women of Grace exclusive for you because that talk that Sue Brinkman did the other day on discernment of spirits, which is going to be helpful for you, especially if you're out in the wilderness without a spiritual director right now. It turns out that talk is going to be free for you if you sign up for the Women of Grace exclusive. And how that works is it's a monthly subscription, but then you get access to almost everything Jeanette's like ever done, like all kinds of retreats, all kinds of speeches she's given, all kinds of shows and podcasts. And she's been doing it for a while, friends. So that is a huge resource for you. And it's going to be like, and you're like, I'm not sure about this. And you're going to be able to look it up really quick. So I'm going to put that in the description for you so that you're going to have that. And now the unboxing, my Lenten study. We all know I'm, of course, doing my 33 days to greater glory. And it is still amazing. It's mind-blowing. Sometimes it's so funny. Sometimes it's the lesson part that blows my mind, and sometimes it's that tiny little reflection at the end, and it's just opening my eyes to the Gospel of John in new and exciting ways. So I'm so excited to be doing it this Lenten season. But while that's growing me closer to God and building my relationship with God, I also kind of wanted to go deeper into my faith in another way. Kind of pre-opened this box just a tiny bit, but I'm still having trouble with it. Hello. It's not a bark box. He's trying to get into it. Sorry, buddy. It's not for you. Okay. Bubble wrap. Yay. Blank sticker sheet. It's so exciting. What do I have here? Ooh. An Emmaus Road catalog. Ha! Got this before my birthday, and it says that Scott Hahn is going to have a new video study called The Eucharist in Scripture. I'm just saying. Ooh, new catalog in my hot little hand. A packing slip. I forgot I got 2 of these. Ooh, this is a gift for Gail. She doesn't even know about it yet. And so here it is. Personal Prayer, a guide for receiving the Father's love. And so you can see why this was so perfect to read after I finish 33 Days to Greater Glory, or if I can't stand waiting, I may start it before then. So let me read you the little description on the back and why I fell in love with this. I went looking for something on spiritual direction, right? And this is what I found. Oh no, it was on that new the free study that they're offering through the St. Paul Center, where they're releasing like a video for a week during Lent, and you can watch it for your Lenten study. And this was listed at the bottom, and I was like, that's curious. And when I went on the website to look at it, I fell in love with this blog, and I tried to get the blog. I didn't know it was a blog post. I thought it was 2 books, and I was so excited. And I had to call and found out it was just 1 book. So it was a blog post that was so beloved that they had to write it into a book. So it started out as like a page and a half. And they really developed it. So I'm kind of excited. Okay, here we go. Prayer is at the heart of Christian life. Given that we are weak and even sinful human beings, how can it be that God has anything to do with us? What does it mean to have a personal relationship with God? Why is God so silent and hidden? And how do we even grow in prayer? Personal Prayer, a guide to receiving the Father's love, brings the depth of the human's experience together with the Catholic tradition of prayer to present the path to an intimate and vulnerable relationship with God. Experienced spirituality directors, Father Thomas Acklin, OSB, and Father Boniface Hicks, OSB, explore the many forms of Catholic prayer and demonstrate that vulnerability is essential to growing in relationship with God. Rich with the wisdom of Scripture, Catholic teaching, and the writing of the saints, Personal Prayer is an exhaustive guide for priests, religious, and laity desiring to receive the Father's love in a profound and personal way. You can see why I am so in love with this book, and I think it's going to be the perfect follow-up for Father Michael Gately's book. Archbishop Charles Chaput, who just retired, had this to say. The Archbishop of Philadelphia that just retired. He had this to say. In a sense, this is a how-to book of the best sort, a simple, practical guide for learning how to pray. But it's also vastly more than that, an eloquent, intimate, and deeply persuasive invitation to seek out a personal relationship with the Father who made us and to master the art of immersing ourselves in the love of God. I want to do that. Okay, how about Bishop Thomas Olmsted, the Bishop of Phoenix? What does he have to say? Personal Prayer is one of the finest contemporary books on prayer. I would highly recommend this book to anyone who hungers for deeper communion with the Blessed Trinity. And who doesn't, right? So let's just do, there's even more recommendations in here. Dan Burke, who is from EWTN. I have no doubt that no matter who you are, or how much experience you have with prayer, this book will lead you to deeper into prayer and into the heart of God. And he is also the president of the Avila Foundation for Spiritual Formation. So this has such high recommendations. I'm very excited. And that's just on the jacket. So I'm opening the book. Sorry, I need to put the mic down so it might get just a little bit more quiet, but I want to be able to show you this. Oh my goodness. There are still more recommendations in here, page after page. This is insane. I don't know that I've ever seen that many beautiful reviews of a book. Okay, and so we're going to go a little kindergarten on it here. Here is the inside of the book. So Personal Prayer. Sorry, I'm a little trouble with the mic. Okay, pretty standard here. Here are the table of contents. There's a dedication, foreword, acknowledgments. The introduction is, it's very detailed here. Chapter 1, Human and Divine Relationship. 2 is Experiencing Prayer as a Relationship. 3 is Silence in Prayer. You might need to work on that this Lent. 4, Praying in Loving Faith. 5, Praying to a Hidden God. 7, Liturgical Prayer, Mass, Other Sacraments, and Liturgy of the Hours. 7, so Chapter 8, Prayer with Word and Sacrament. 9, Devotional Prayer. 10, Charismatic Prayer. 11, Then We Shall Be Like Him. Oh, how beautiful. Then there is an appendix. It has an odd little name there, and then there's a bibliography. So I'm going to hop back to the back. It does look like there's footnotes right there. Yay! I love footnotes more than endnotes now, because they're at the bottom of the page, and you don't have to go constantly flipping back to see what they're referring to. You know, it's right there. So I have become a big fan of footnotes in the last couple years. I used to think endnotes because I thought footnotes kind of disrupted what you were doing, but I've fallen in love with them. So the appendix says it's I'm trying really hard to say this word. Florilegium. As an appendix to this work on prayer, we follow with the ancient practice of gathering the texts of various authors together in a bouquet for the reader's ongoing reflection. We hope this Florilegium provides further teaching inspiration, and even better, that the reading itself would move the reader to prayer. I've never heard of this expression, and it's so lovely. They've gathered together the texts of various authors in a bouquet for the reader's ongoing reflection. How beautiful. Pope St. Clement I, Ignatius of Antioch, Irenaeus of Lyons, Dionysius the Great, St. Ephrem, oh my goodness, St. Augustine of Hippo, Alexandria, St. Albert the Great, St. Bonaventure, St. Francis of Assisi, St. Clare, St. Francis de Chantal. There are so many of these. This is so beautiful. And then in the back, there is like a normal old bibliography in the back. Okay. Beautiful. Wow. It's a big bibliography. They've done a lot of work on this. I can kind of see looking at this why people are so impressed with this, but just by looking at the works they've collected into this. I am so inspired. I hope you are too. So what else am I doing for Lent, you're wondering, besides books? I mean, these books are a lot. Of course, I'm doing these videos for you. I'm hoping to get out, besides doing the Stations of the Cross that I'm doing with Soul Core, you know, the exercise thing, I'm really hoping to get out and do some Stations of the Cross in community with other people. Of course, I have some giving things, and I'm always giving, so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to play out, what's going to be different about that for Lent yet. I'm just going to keep praying on it. There's no deadline. It's not like you had to start everything on the first day, and I don't want to commit to a whole bunch of stuff and then do it really half-heartedly. I don't think that's any good either. So I'm kind of looking to see what's really needed. I had a couple projects that I thought would work out. Like I really wanted to do the Laundry Library League, where you set up a box of books that people can come and get for free in a laundromat. And you just have to go like every 2 weeks and fill up the box and make sure there's not any debris in it and clean it up. And in exchange, you know, the laundromat gets kids that are occupied and parents that don't mind bringing their kids, so they like going there, and you get free advertisement. But my local laundromats aren't interested, and so, you know, you can't force that. So I have a project in mind. I'm kind of excited about it, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to raise the money to do it. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to work that out. Today I did a weird penance. You can tell I actually already vlogged today and went did my day, did this thing, and then I had to go and like completely change because I was grossing myself out. Yeah, so for Lent, I went and got a mammogram, which sounds crazy, but they called the other day and were like, you know, it's been a while. I think you need to come in. And I was going to put it off again. And it was like, no, that's perfect for a Lent. It's horrible and painful. And people are like, stretch this, put that there. Hold your breath. You can't breathe. You know what I mean? You're all stretched out. You're in these awful positions. You can't breathe. You're in intense pain, right? And you're going to be sore for a while. And as lovely as the people are at my local radiology facility, because they are lovely, the facility's clean, lovely, the people are beautiful and lovely, but it's still like a horrible, awful, painful, humiliating thing to do, because like you can't wear deodorant that day or any lotions or anything. So it's the middle of winter. My skin's dry. I'm smelly. It's awful. I'm completely embarrassed at how I smell and look, and you know, I'm disgusting, and it's very humbling doing the experience. Guys, I don't know what practice you have that really does the same for you, but it's humbling. It's complete humility. It's painful. Like, oh my gosh, like I threw my shoulder out a little bit. Like, so I thought it would be a good Lenten practice, and so I kind of offered it up. United it to Jesus' suffering on the cross and went and did it. So I hope it all works out. And if not, hey, I've already given a little bit of that suffering for the team. So that's where my Lent is so far. I know we're like all of whopping 2 days in. But that's where I am. God bless you, friends. And that's it. Have a blessed day. Bye.